Good morning. Steph here with Magic Healing. This is your Soulful Sunday Starseed reading. I was connecting in this morning in my meditation and, was on a live last night with my bestie, and one of the ladies in there got the Starseed cards and the blueprint, and so it really opened me up. I've tuned in a lot for my own self as I've gone through my own experience of recognizing that I am a Starseed. We are all Starseeds. Some of us are like starseeds from the ethers, while others are like starseeds from different planets, and then others are starseeds like from here on Earth. Like we all hold, but then we've also got like aliens, and we've got all the things. So it's like we've got step-ins. There's so many different like walks of humanity, and like everything that's going on in the world right now it's all a dismantling. Like, we as Starseeds came here to dismantle the corruption and the greed and the pain and the suffering and, we chose to come here to the density of Earth to do the work that we came here to do. And so the messages right now, and I was literally, I'm newer to this deck. It is Beyond Lemuria by Izzy Ivy. Oh, there you go. I'll make it so you can actually see. Beautiful deck. I used it like a while back, and then I gifted that deck to my bestie. And then I purchased another one because I was like, I really, really, really love this deck. Like, beautiful artwork, beautiful channeled messages and everything. So thank you, Izzy, for creating this magic. And the messages for today, really, like, you can see them full forward, like surrender, full spectrum, and ether. And I am going to read from the book, because while I was reading her words specifically, I myself received a whole whack load of downloads and memories and activations and everything. So for me in this experience, especially in this one, because if you look at what's going on in the world right now, it speaks of it exactly as what we're going through, as humanity, as people. And, we're missing it. We're missing, it's not about, I'm going to drop the bomb. It's not about a vaccine or not a vaccine. Pull your head out of the 3D physicality of what is happening right in front of you. I understand that, yes, we live in a physical world, but at the same time, the way to transmute the densities of the energies of this physical world is by bringing the 5D frequency into the 3D. You gotta merge the two, right? Because otherwise you're still this and that. It's not about this and that. It's about unity. It's about harmony. It's about balance. It's about getting out of your own goddamn egos and how you think it should look, to allow people to be what they are. And as a collective, and even as a whole, as humanity, we are stronger than any sort of constriction and constraint. We are the light, and we came here to be the light and create the transformations and the transitions and transmute the energy that we are experiencing right now. We are the chain breakers. We're the motherfucking light. So own it and be it, no matter what that looks like. but be mindful and aware of what is ego and what is truth. Because your mind, your mind can convince you either way. Yes or no, good or bad. It can talk you into something and then immediately turn around and just as convincingly talk you out of it. So are you allowing your mind to control you, or are you in control of your mind and your thoughts? Being mindful of our thoughts and what we think of is what helps us become an intentional creator. When we step out of the beliefs of everybody else and the conditioning of everything that we've been told and everything that we have heard our entire lives, we allow our own inner truth to expand and rise, to come together in harmony and balance. It's about duality. When we live full spectrum, right? When we go through that ego death of letting go of the expectations and the separation and this like segregation, like when we let go of the segregation and the control and the manipulation, we allow the beauty and the abundance and the magic. Like, you want to seek healing in the hands of Mama Gaia. Seek healing in the hands of being out in nature. Seek healing in the hands of giving to another soul. Just for the sake of giving. To feel good, to allow, let go of the limitations and the hyper focus of how you think it should be. Because that whole process is you getting into your own way. Right? And so when we ground down and we let go, it allows us to open ourselves to the beauty that is meant to come into our frequencies, So with that being said, because welcome to my little rampage tangent, be the motherfucking light, guys, because you are. Live full spectrum, take the leap, take the jump, because this here says, the seamless unspeakable, right? We will get into that. 11, 0 point field, the void, blank canvas, threshold, anything is possible. Time to choose what you want to bring into your life. Endless possibilities, limitless paradox. Okay, so this is if you were to say this is your past, present, and then future. Right? So surrender the past to bring in living full spectrum within your future and call in the ether of the seamless unspeakable. So anything is possible. The word impossible itself says I'm possible. It's all about perspective. How are you looking at the situation? Are you looking at it from a victim point? Right? Of, well, this is wrong and this wasn't done and this should be done this way and, well, but I feel like this should have been done this way and everything like that. Well, that's how you set yourself up for disappointment, because you're putting an expectation for somebody to show up in the way that you think they should, but they're never going to do that because, the only way that they're going to do that is if you, physically sit them down and communicate and be like, hey, in this situation, I need you to do this. And then you still have to surrender and trust that they are going to do that. But it's still not going to be exactly how you think it should be, because they're not you. Just like you are not them. And that is the beauty of it. So to surrender, trust, letting go of control, free flow, receptivity, yin energy, inner knowing, intuition, synchronistic opportunities, getting out of the way, the path of least resistance, allowing who you naturally are to flourish. Surrendering can be one of the hardest things to do. Trusting that we can achieve more by loosening our control can take great courage. Sometimes the most constructive way forward is to stop forcing things into being. Rather than allowing, inviting, and drawing a project into being, the energy here is of frustration, as if you were pushing something heavy up a mountain. At these times, gravity or flow don't seem to be on your side. Use this awareness as a guide when you start to detour from your path. When control is released, so too is resistance. One of the biggest skills we can learn is to get out of our own way. When we are in a receptive place, we are open to a world of opportunities, and the great mysteries can unveil themselves. The mind loves to control the outcome, but this only creates limitations. It can feel scary, but when we allow ourselves to be caught by the universe, myriad possibilities open to us. This painting is called A Star is Born, and its message is about becoming the star you came here to be. You can reach your peak life experience through surrendering and allowing who and what you truly are to flourish. Today, be more by doing and trying less. This advice goes against the grain of our striving culture that encourages us to source from outside ourselves and to busy ourselves out of a natural state to all-knowing bliss. Surrender is a key element in the creative process. When I let go and flow, allowing intuition over direction, I find I create far more powerful works. This is very, very, very true, as I am living and experiencing this in this exact moment. So, trust and believe, guys. That is not to say our lives should be left to the slipstream. The message is about freeing ourselves from the paradigm of control and force. Yes, we can achieve with this mode, but we also lose opportunities for magic. A synchronistic meeting, following our intuition, and being in the right place at the right time can outweigh months of careful planning. So exactly, loosen your hold of the reins and know that the universe will catch you. Trust, have faith, right? Even though things are not as you imagined, stay poised and aligned with your purpose. At the last minute, the situation will reveal its magic. And this falls exactly into everything that I have spoken about this whole entire week. And it's really interesting even for myself, right? I look at it, and so I manage a crystal store as well as I'm a soul coach, a meditation guide, and an intuitive reader, and everything, the whole message, almost every single person that I have spoken to this week has literally been stop trying to control everything. You're trying to make it look exactly how you want it to look, but it's not going to look like that. You gotta trust that this is what you want, and you're willing to do the work to let go and raise your vibration and believe and create those physical shifts, right? The key point to manifesting is acting as if it already is, right? So acting as if it already is, and if it is in alignment with where you're going, who you are, and what you're creating, it will come to fruition. And if it doesn't, then that means that there was something greater that was meant to be in its place. You're always meant to be overflowing. So even in the moments where you feel you're losing all this stuff, it's because you're preparing for new stuff to come in. So you're trying to hold on to everything. Let it go. Actually surrender. Let it go and trust and believe and have faith. Have faith in you will end up exactly where you're meant to be. Because, hey, guess what? You are exactly where you meant to be. You are. Like, you're just a little, like, toddler having a temper tantrum. So, like, stop with the temper tantrum and just flow. And believe me, I am a fixed sign. So, this is not always easy, right? But the beauty is in showing yourself that it's possible. And from a fixed sign who has done all the like changing and letting go, it is possible. Because when you live full spectrum, right? You even have all the chakras. I literally just got all my chakras tattooed on my body, and oh my god, my first meditation with them was like instantly I was like boom, 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 boom. Full spectrum. Creating heaven on earth by honoring the perfection of nature's cycles, going beyond the judgment of good and bad, and the merging of duality, raw nature, earth wisdom, connecting to ancestors, shadows as the fertile soil for exponential growth. The way forward is in the whisperings of the land, honoring the full spectrum of life. What does heaven on earth look like to you? Do you imagine lush green nature, ancient forests, pristine beaches, crystalline water systems, and all the planet's residents in full health, living in harmony with each other? And yet, nature, in its purest, rawest form, is a balance of life and death, growth and decomposition, the eaters and the eaten. And in one way or another, this is the natural flux of life. We already live in Eden, but our efforts to own and segregate bring us further away from this paradigm. Power trips, the need for imagined security, fear or avoidance of the shadow, keep us out of our freedom. The need to persevere, to preserve and hold on tightly, only stunts our growth and leaves us drowning in a sea of plastic. The real disease on earth, the barrier to Eden, is in our minds. Life happens, but it is our perception of good and bad and our black and white judgments that prevent us from seeing the grander truth. When duality becomes one, we will find Shambhala before us. Perhaps we can find inspiration from nature and the animal kingdom. Does the tiny frog spend its days anxious over its vulnerable future? No. What happens when we realize fertile compost greets us when we allow ourselves to transmute our pain? When we honor all that came before, our roots are nourished, and we grow with more vitality, vibrancy, and life force. We can anchor more light for the collective and in turn seed new growth. What happens when we realize the keys to our future are in the wisdom of the earth and the dreamings of the indigenous? That the answers are in the geometry of the macro and microcosm, the nurturing embrace of oneness, in Mama Nature's arms? What happens when we find peace within the full spectrum of life? Even the notion of separation, this dis-ease, can be symbolized as no more than a blackened leaf on a healthy tree. The ebb and flow of our evolution and devolution is a temporary blip in the universe. The message is to be what we can, to ground heaven on earth, but not out of fear. We often try to avoid or run from negative situations. But when fear steers our decisions and actions, far more devastation can result. When we choose to let our hearts lead us away from stories and outdated patterns, our challenges become the fertile compost that feeds our ascending tendrils as they reach to the heavens and ground its light back on earth. Now, the beautiful divinatory meaning of this card, like if that doesn't speak to exactly what is going on in the present moment on a grand scale right now, you can't make this shit up. you know, it's so hard. And even I sat here and myself have looked in, and like, it's a daily battle, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Do I, don't I, do I, don't I, do I, don't I? Like, well, at the end of the day, yes, we live in a 3D matrix, and like, sometimes you just gotta play the game. But like, well, but like, you know, it's like this belief and that belief and everything else. Well, you know, I was like talking to my coach the other day and being like, and she even said to me, she's like, let it all go. Like, just literally surrender it all. And you know what, at the end of the day, like, I'm going to make a choice, and it's going to be a choice that I make for me, and I'm not probably going to tell anybody, because it doesn't matter. It's not about, like, we got to stop judging and fearing change and pushing things. And you know, like, your belief isn't necessarily somebody else's belief. And so, like, if that's what speaks to you, allow it to speak to you, and, like, live wholeheartedly in that, and, you know, trust it and have faith. But at the end of the day, don't try and force your beliefs on another person, you know, because they have to get there in their own time. Like, we still have so much, like, corruption and everything, and, like, dismantling. So, like, when we step out of the black and white mentality of judgment, go beyond the concepts of good and bad, this card invites you to honor the full spectrum of life and find a new way of perceiving your situation. When we judge something, we create a story around it. These stories often create limitation. Subconsciously, we gather so many of these stories over a lifetime. To heal our dis-ease and crystallize the new way, we need to create a space of no story where miraculous healing can happen. This space empowers us to be all we are and allows us to know our truth. Embrace the full spectrum of creation in all her colors, and the raw, muddy, earthbound shadow parts of a situation to determine whether they are actually bad, or if stories you have held onto are limiting your perspective. So what are you holding on to? And what are you ready to let go? To call in the ether of endless possibilities. Right? You gotta let it go. Go through that ego death, right? Let go. Like, step through that fear. Step through that judgment. Step through that pain and that hurt, and allow yourself the beauty to heal. You know, because, like, sometimes the things that happen to you, like, it's not like you go out looking for it, but, like, shitty things happen. And it sucks. Yes, it does. But are you gonna, like, live in the pool of, well, I'm gonna carry what happened to me because, like, you know, that just, like, you're putting unnecessary resentment onto your life, and, like, resentment just resends that energy to you. So, like, if we're all energy, right, and we carry resentment of the past and what happened, then we're literally just being, like, putting out to the universe, like, we haven't learned our lesson yet, so you got to put us through it again. And, like, but even still, we're still going to go through the lesson, but, like, we're going to go through it in a different perspective. Because that's what it's about. It's about shifting the perspective. Shift how you look at the situation, and then the situation changes. And you bring back your power. You call back your power when you step out of the lens of how everybody else looks at it, or how, you know, you think, like, even unconsciously, like, and a lot of this happens on an unconscious level, and, like, so you got to start catching yourself, right? Like, be mindful and aware of it when, you know, these things are coming, and, like, see how you feel as you talk about it. Like, is it something that, like, flows freely, or are you, like, feeling constriction and pain and, like, because, like, that, like, and I got nothing else. Like, it's just like a because, like, You know, and if it's that, like, is it yours? Like, and then, because, I mean, shadows itself, like, shadows are just light energy that have yet to be transmuted. And the way to transmute them is to sit with them and see them for what they are. Because then you take your power back, and as you step through the fear, like, they're not scary. Like, they're just parts of yourself that you feel are, like, not as good. Like, stop avoiding doing the work, because doing the work is what actually helps us get to the other side. And yes, understand that there are going to be some people that, like, don't want to do the work, and that it's not your responsibility to make them do the work. So take that responsibility and put it on yourself, and let them do what they're gonna do. And they're either gonna, like, see you doing it, and you doing the work is going to inspire them to be like, oh, hey, well, like, maybe it's, like, not actually as hard as, like, I thought it was. Well, like, they're doing it, so, like, all right, okay, like, I can do this. Like, a 1% change is way better than, like, a 360-degree flip overnight. Like, because a year down the road, that 1% change is a 365% change. Changing 1% every day. And even your unconscious mind can understand that. And that is a physical thing. So let's bring in this ether energy. Let's end it off on the ether of the seamless, unspeakable. Absolutely beautiful. Like, I don't know if, like, I always say, like, even with readings, like, this is a collective reading. You know, so I always say, like, take what resonates, discard the rest. Tune in if it speaks to you. Amazing. Like, it was ringing true for me, and I'm like, and I am a starseed. Like, we're talking, like, sun goddess, freaking queen of the ocean. Like, well, not queen of the ocean, but queen of Atlantis. It's a whole thing. Like, holy crap, right? So 0 point field, right? Stepping into the void, the blank canvas, the threshold. Anything is possible. Time to choose what you want to bring into your life. Endless possibilities, limitlessness. Paradox. This illuminated space of no distraction and pure potential is beyond the threshold. It is the silence, meditative moment, out of time, the centered and present place beyond the hustle of the mind and outside world. It is where all dreams are birthed, and it is the light we may fear to be darkness, when just for one moment everything ceases to exist. This is the place between worlds, the womb before we incarnate, and from here we can choose where we go. The land has been tiled in readiness for the flowers we wish to seed. Outdated doors have been closed, and in the space between the breaths, we open the new ones. What may be perceived as the endless black nothingness is actually the illuminated eternal, the core that all our fears may be peeled back to. When we step through the darkness, we realize it is only a short distance away from the white void at the center of creation and heaven. Herein lies the feeling that we may have been striving our whole life to meet, and yet simultaneously, subconsciously running from. In this place of graceful surrender, we may know we are held and allow ourselves the spaciousness to drop deeper into the experience of our existence. The theme, too elusive and mysterious to define, a knowing without words, the spaces in between, life force energy. Decide you are worthy, and you are worthy. you are the creator of your own reality. And when you step out of your own way and you allow the guidance of your angels and your galactic team, like, you're never alone. But you gotta step out of the mind of trying to understand it all. Like, you're not gonna understand it all because you're not meant to. You know, like, it's set the creation, step through the fear, and step into the white light of endless possibilities. You know, like, if you want to go right, left, up, or down, like, make a choice. Because you can do any of them. You really, like, you are the creator. You are the artist that is holding the pen. And you hold the opportunity to embrace and allow that beauty to come to fruition. You know, like, it's, if you're not a journaler, like, write some things down, or like voice memo shit, or, you know, like, it's step into the ether, like, live full spectrum, you know, like, stop holding yourself back, get out of your motherfucking way, because you're worth it, and you're allowed to shine. You're allowed to be whatever it is that you feel you were meant to be. You know, like, stop letting that little voice in your head keep you from living life to, like, your fullest existence, because you are worth it. You know, like, trust yourself, love yourself, have some self-care, some love. Like, Mercury motherfucking retrograde right now is fucking everybody's shit up. You know, because, like, and it's one of the most powerful ones ever, because it's literally spirit coming back for the third time being like, are you gonna actually speak your truth? Are you gonna actually, like, step through the crap? Are you gonna actually, like, let go of the judgment? Are you gonna actually allow yourself to embrace, like, who you want to be? Like, it, and who are you, right? Like, all of this stuff comes up for you to tune in to who you are and what you want to be and how you want to present yourself, you know, like, and what does it look like to you? Not anybody else, you. Because you are a motherfucking starseed. You are pure magic. And the moment you step out of the control of trying to, like, be in control of how all the pieces come together, then you allow the communication and the creativity and the flow for them to come together as they are meant to. So I really hope this resonates. Sending you guys all my love. I am also going to be uploading a guided meditation that I'm going to be doing after this to help call in that energy and that light to support you guys through it. And I hope you love it. Embrace it. Enjoy it. You guys are magic. And the moment that you feed that seed is the moment that your world will begin to open and unfold. You are divine, you are blessed, and you are beautiful. This is Stephanie from Mer Magic Healing. Thank you again. Mwah. I love you all greatly, and have a blessed and beautiful Sunday. It is magical. The sun is shining. It is beautiful, wonderful energy. Go sync with the earth. You know, go get out in nature today. Go connect in, go hug a tree, go plant your bare feet on the earth if you're able to. You know, go put your face up to the sun and just breathe in the magic and the radiancy that is you. I love you all. Mwah!